Hellsing tells the story of the Hellsing organization, a group that protects humans from vampires and ghouls, led by Integra Hellsing. One of the most powerful members of this organization is a vampire named Alucard. He's a badass vampire with cool guns and is just really damn cool. He is driven to protect humanity from other vampires while also trying to find a worthy opponent to eventually take him down once and for all. While on a mission to eliminate a vampire priest, Alucard encountered and subsequently turned a police girl named Ceres Victoria into a vampire to save her life. The narrative follows her compelling development from a nervous fledgling who initially feared drinking blood to a complete and total badass by the end of the series. Ceres is a character I find to be genuinely cool and likable, and I think they do a really good job of going into her backstory. I think that this series does a really good job of showing her progression from just being a nervous vampire into just being someone who's really cool and accepts the fact that she is a vampire, and that's just the way it is for the rest of her life. Alucard, the show's central figure, is a powerful anti-hero whose complex motivations drives his actions. A consummate badass, he delivers some of the series' most captivating scenes. Though fiercely loyal to the Hellsing organization and sworn to protect humanity, his methods are often brutal and violent. This dedication to safeguarding humans is balanced by an intense desire for a worthy fight against an opponent who can match his immense power. I find him kind of interesting in that sense, because while the Hellsing organization is trying to get rid of vampires, it is neat to know that they have their own vampire who just so happens to be the most powerful vampire in existence of this series, at least in this original series, not in Hellsing Ultimate or in the manga, but in just Hellsing, he's one of the most powerful characters in all of existence. And the Hellsing kind of just have him as a trump card, basically. If there's something they can't handle, I guess they'll just have Alucard do what he has to do. And he is genuinely a good guy. Like, he did save Ceres. He could have let her die, but he saved her and kind of took her under his wing, being like, hey, you know, there's all these ghouls around here, and I can help you get out of this situation. While the characters are really cool, the show's story is a bit of a mixed bag. It starts out fine, but ends up going in a different direction compared to the manga, which sometimes can work, but for this anime, they sort of brush things under the rug that would have been interesting and nice to explore, but they're like, fuck it, and they move on to the next thing. And by the time we reach episode 8, we get introduced to Incognito, a villain that is exclusive to this adaptation of Hellsing. And they try to make him important, and they try to make him cool, but he's really not interesting at all and is really lame as fuck. Also, the ending fight between Alucard and Incognito is just really boring, and I wasn't invested at all. I wasn't really caring about Incognito or his motivations or why he's evil. It was just really boring and really lame and seems very forced in, and it really showed. The animation was done by Gonzo, and if you're familiar with Gonzo, you know that their track record isn't always the greatest. That being said, I would say that this is one of their better looking shows, at least at the beginning. It starts out looking like it's a pretty good looking show, at least animation wise, but as the series goes on, it starts to chug along, and whenever an intense fight scene is happening, it really holds the show back, and it just doesn't look that great. And it really wants to, but it just can't. However, I will say the character designs are really good. I love all the character designs. I think they look fantastic. And there are certain shots of Alucard when it's dark outside and his shadow is covering his face and you just see the reflection of his glasses. Those are really cool. Those are badass. There's just a lot of really cool imagery in the show. It's just animation-wise, it isn't really the best. The music in the show is really good. I love the opening, A World Without Logos. I think that's a really cool song. It's nice, groovy, and just visually it fits the show so well, and I like it a lot. I also really like the ending song, Shine by Mr. Big. I found that on Spotify and I was like, yep, I'm listening to that in the gym. And it's just a really cool song, and I like it a lot. The actual music in the show in the background is nice and fits the tone quite nicely. I have no complaints with the show's music. I also love the dub. If you have Crispin Freeman in it, it's automatically going to be a good dub to me, but I think everyone just does a really good job with their performance. Overall, Hellsing isn't a terrible show. It's pretty alright. It's got some things going for it. I like the beginning part of the show. The music is really good. The characters are awesome. It has some really cool visuals, and there are some cool action scenes, at least in the beginning. But the things that hold it back are just stuff that happens later on in the show when it just decides to do its own thing. That's why I would say, if you're gonna watch Hellsing, I highly recommend Hellsing Ultimate. I think Ultimate does everything that this wants to do, but better. I would also recommend that you check out the manga, because the manga art is just fantastic and it is just a really cool series. If you want a parody, go check out Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. I think that show is hilarious. But if you are interested in watching the original Hellsing, it's not a terrible show, and I think you might get something out of it. Just don't expect it to be as amazing as Ultimate is. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you thought of Hellsing, and I will see you next time.